So here's the collage that I wanted to share with you that I've been working on the last couple of days. Gonna read the captions out for you. What the tide brings in. We are all migrants. For us, every day, Earth Day. A world of untold bounty. Responsible care, a public commitment. Actions, not words. We move when it is intolerable to stay where we are. We move because of environmental stresses and physical dangers and the small-mindedness of our neighbors, and to be who we wish to be, to seek what we wish to seek. I have a lot of little stories to read in regards to these from the actual National Geographic stories, but I'm going to start with the young lady in the center. She is out of Spain, and it's been an ancient ritual that they have practiced, obviously for centuries. And this little caption of the sweet gal is, a young girl does her part to celebrate the festival of La Maya, which marks the arrival of spring in Colmenar Viejo, Spain. There, Viejo, I am assuming. These are exquisite. And to me, it was an instant representation of mother, grandmother. When we are bringing in spring, hello. The adornment is absolutely exquisite. And I think she was on that page. But for many years, as only a few written rules, our altars must be decorated with fresh flowers, and the young centerpieces must sit perfectly still for the 2-hour observance. Crowds pass through the village's streets for a glimpse of each altar. After the festival, the Mayas come down and attend evening mass with the community. It's quite honoring to do of young ladies and to be made to feel like a princess, a queen, the mother. Really beautiful. And may it be so for this young lady that's going to be one of our leaders, a mother herself someday. This was from 2019. And then the plastic that goes to explain itself, found in our beloved waters. These specifically, I think, were in New York City. And the oceans are dying. They're dying, and they are 50% of our oxygen. So we rely heavily on the oceans. We cannot... all bodies of water. That's beyond precious. Our air, our water, our soil, our animals, how things are thriving, and they are not thriving, and we are in grave danger. We've been in grave danger for decades now, and many scientists have been blowing the whistles, and many deny. But so she is now in this castle of plastic, and these, my friends, are an image of the Berlin Wall. I'm sure many of you know just from seeing it. And with the concept of we're all migrants, no walls. Here's the article from 1990. That was 2 years from graduating high school. I was a junior or sophomore in high school. Berlin's Ode to Joy. In tears and triumph, the people of East Berlin surged through the fresh cut in the Berlin Wall at Potsdamer Platz on a cold morning. Potsdamer Platz on a cold morning in November 1989. Free at last, they clutch flowers and a special edition Western newspapers that celebrate a Berlin reunited after 28 years of separation. I took it out there. Within weeks, the brush fires of reform burned across Eastern Europe. Stalinist regimes collapsed, and the Iron Curtain melted into history. Looking through the stories of this time of feeling 80 people died attempting to escape across it. I know there has been countless deaths across our borders from Mexico into the United States. And I know for a fact they are fleeing right here. They're fleeing environmental stressors. All right, I'm going to read to you from the original article that I clipped out the words, "We are all migrants." This is just the ending. Honestly, I accidentally clipped the beginning. Moving forward. Our contemporaries are moving above all from the countryside to the cities of Asia and Africa, and our descendants will move too. They will move as the climate changes, as sea levels rise, as wars are fought, as one mode of economic activity dies out and gives way to another. The power of our technology, its impact on our planet, is growing. Consequently, the pace of change is accelerating, giving rise to new stresses, and our nimble species will use movement as part of its response to these stresses, as our great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers did, as we are designed to do. And yet we are told that such movement is unprecedented, that it represents a crisis, a flood, a disaster. We are told that there are two kinds of humans, natives and migrants, and that these must struggle for supremacy. We are told not only that movement through geographies can be stopped, but that movement through time can be too, that we can return to the past, to a better past when our country, our race, our religion was truly great. All we must accept is division, the division of humanity into natives and migrants, a vision of a world of walls and barriers and of the guards and weapons and surveillance we required to enforce those barriers. A world where privacy dies and dignity and equality alongside it, and where humans must pretend to be static, unmoving, moored to the land on which they currently stand, into a time like the time of their childhood or of their ancestors' childhoods. An imaginary time in which standing still is only an imaginary possibility. Such are the dreams of a species defeated by nostalgia, at war with itself, with its migratory nature and the nature of its relationship to time, screaming in denial of the constant movement that is human life. Perhaps thinking of us all as migrants offers us a way out of this looming dystopia. If we are all migrants, then possibly there is a kinship between the suffering of the woman who has never lived in another town and yet has come to feel foreign on her own street, and the suffering of the man who has left his town and will never see it again. Maybe transience is our mutual enemy, not in the sense that the passage of time can be defeated, but rather in the sense that we all suffer from the losses time inflicts. A greater degree of compassion for ourselves might become possible, and out of it a greater degree of compassion for others. We might muster more courage as we swim through time rather than giving in to fear. A greater degree of compassion for ourselves might then become possible, and out of it a greater degree of compassion for others. We might muster more courage as we swim through time rather than giving in to fear. We might collectively be able to be brave enough to recognize that our individual endings are not the ending of everything, and that beauty and hope remain possible even once we are gone. Accepting our reality as a migratory species will not be easy. New art, new stories, and new ways of being will be needed. But the potential is great. A better world is possible. A more just and inclusive world, better for us and for our grandchildren, with better food and better music and less violence too. The city nearest you was 2 centuries ago most unimaginably different from the city today. 2 centuries in the future, it is likely to be at least as different again. Few citizens of almost any city now would prefer to live in their city of 2 centuries ago. We should have the confidence to imagine that the same will be true of the centuries of the world's cities 2 centuries hence. A species of migrants, at last comfortable being a species of migrants. That for me is a destination worth wandering to. It is the central challenge and opportunity every migrant offers us to see in him, in her, the reality of ourselves. The author was Mohsin Hamed. Wow, his writings have been translated into 40 languages. I really like it. It's just about inclusion. So for me, it's not even to get rid of the 1%. It's like, can't we restructure? Isn't it just time? How much more do you need? Maybe just get into the song and dance. Get into the song and dance and have fun and learn from your cultures and get dirty and get gritty and get in the grass and dress up pretty and love on each other and support each other, because Lord knows we need each other. We're not going to survive if we keep drowning here in this poison, and our bodies can't handle it much longer. These technologies have been an interesting experiment, but they have not been overwhelmingly good for the body. And so it's all right to change and morph and grow into something new collectively. It's exciting. There's better ways and healthier for everybody. This isn't exclusion. It's not exclusionary. It's like, can we come back together again? Truly. You know, I was a Christian for a long time, and now I don't associate myself as a Christian. I'm really just into source energy. I believe all religions lead to God, source, creator, great mother, great father. And I say great mother so much because really, without her, without this divine, feminine, beautiful, glorious, holy, sacred, birthing energy, we have nothing. But same goes for the divine masculine energy, the father, the holy father, great father. It really takes two beautifully entwined and unified whole, and we carry those energies within, and we're all seeking the same. I don't think it's too much to ask to have clean air, clean soil, clean water, clean and healthy food for all, and to share. It's just not. Nobody needs to. We just don't need to do this treatment of each other. We need to get out of separation and individual hyper-individuality and come back to her. Come back to her. May she never, ever, ever grow old in spirit. May she always seek the flowers. Sending love.